So last night's big news was Canada beat America in the Four Nations tournament. And ironically, when we first met America in Montreal booed the American anthem and Canada lost. And then last night, the reverse happened. It was in Boston. The Americans booed the Canadian anthem, and we won in overtime in glorious fashion. I'd call that a bit of karma. But really, it speaks to a cancer in hockey, but also in all sports. The Olympics was always meant to be non-political. That's why it was so controversial for Hitler not to shake, I can't remember the guy's name, the black guy that won a bunch of stuff. And, you know, these hockey games have been all about politics. And I think that's sort of sad. I mean, you know, again, why the Canadians were booing was lost on America. They just got all butthurt because their precious anthem was booed. But what that was all about was Trump imposing tariffs just basically, apparently whimsically. And look, like, Canadians are frustrated because we don't have a functioning government. Trudeau is off, well, watching hockey games and, you know, partying in France with his boyfriends. So, you know, Canadians are we're upset by that, right? Like, we're upset that we were kind of being, unfairly treated by Trump, who likes to think that somehow we've treated America so poorly. What? Where did we do that? And, like, look, if you want to try to make the argument that free trade favors Canada and Mexico more than America, well, like Jimmy Dore would say, I got a vaccine that's safe and effective for you. You know, and this is the state of politics and hockey. Like, it's unfortunate, but really, it's also nothing new. You know, it reminds me of that how the Cold War was fought on television, on Wall Street, and on the ice. And when it was fought on the ice, it was between Canada and the Soviet Union, where we had full out, bench clearing, brawls. And, you know, that was unfair, because back then, the Canadian players weren't allowed to be pro. Like, none of the pro players played back then. You didn't have, like, maybe when they were still in junior, you would, but, like, you know, it was the same idea. Whereas the Red Army guys were pro. That's all they did, was they played hockey all day on the government dime, right? That good old communist thing. But that brings me back to Four Nations. And Four Nations should be Five Nations. Like, the fact that there's no Russia there is a problem. You know, that was the original thing. You could include Czechoslovakia. You could include probably a few others. But I mean, China, if China wants to make an argument that they have a right to the north, then where's your hockey team, eh? Like, that shit gets settled on the ice. As Bill Blur would say, I can think that's his name, I'm not sure. Boston guy. Anyway. But again, this is how we have, what Aaron Mate would call blue MAGA. And that's what's in Canada now, too. So it's all about the politics of hockey. And, I see people losing their mind because Wayne Gretzky took a picture with him with Trump. And he went to Mar-a-Lago or whatever and hung out with them. He's the president of the United States. Like, again, it's this Trump derangement syndrome, which we have our own. We have Trudeau derangement syndrome. So, and now everyone's going to be, oh, Trudeau's so great because he waved the Canadian flag when we won. Or Jagmeet Singh, like all these pathetic guys, clinging on to this yay Team Canada thing. When were you ever Team Canada? Give your head a shake. Like, I don't know. I mean, the truth is people are pretty gullible. But I can't imagine how anyone is going to forget anytime soon that Trudeau, Carney, and Freeland single-handedly destroyed Canada in 9 years. Like when Pierre Poilievre says that, he's not, that's not hyperbole. It's documentable and, facts. Referenceable facts. So, I mean, it would be nice to get politics out of sports again, although I'm not sure how you go back now, really. I mean, unfortunately. But for next year, I think Russia needs to, look at people. Do you understand that when you're all boo-hoo Russia or Russia bad, you're rooting on World War III. World War III means the end of humanity as we know it. World War III means the script to Fallout isn't a script but a plan. And again, it's amazing to me to see Bernie Sanders defending the military-industrial complex, fighting Robert Kennedy Jr. on the disastrous healthcare system that he built his career around trying to reform. He has a real opportunity now to work with Robert Kennedy and do that. But he's playing politics. Bernie's a disappointment, like a great disappointment. The reality is all of these people are a disappointment because none of them are worthy of their station. None of them. COVID was a disaster. Our planet right now is a disaster. Booing national anthems is stupid and juvenile. And we have real problems right now that need to be addressed. And our Canadian politicians are, pints and wings in the hockey game, while Canadians are left paying more for everything than ever. Don't forget this, Canada. Don't forget, and never, ever, ever forget that the Liberal government gave a standing ovation to an SS Ukrainian not see like Zelensky.